on time.
Good to go.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. I will reconvene the recessed meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Elections. Today is, there's a misprint here. This is Friday, November 21. So for those of you who have agendas, if you'd be kind enough to make note of the fact that it's Friday. The board last met on Monday, November 3, which was the day before Election Day. And traditionally, when the board meets at that point in time, we always recess the meeting in the event there is an immediate need for us to reconvene, and particularly if there's any type of an emergency or so forth. Fortunately, that didn't happen. And then today's meeting was advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. There was a legal ad in the paper noting that we would be reconvening today. So I'll call this meeting back to order, and we always start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Tim, could you lead us in that pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. The Pennsylvania County Code stipulates that the three commissioners serve as the Board of Elections unless one or two or all of us happen to be a candidate for an office in that given year. Then we are required to step off the board. The president judge appoints a replacement. This calendar year, none of the three of us were running for any office, so that allows us to serve as the Board of Elections. I neglected a couple of housekeeping items. I apologize. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded. And also, we'd ask if you brought your cell phone with you, if you'd kindly put it on vibrate or silent. We would appreciate if you'd be kind enough to do that. I do want to note, well, let's get a roll call so we can establish our quorum.
Commissioner Sonato?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. Thank you, Jason. We do have a quorum, three-member board, all three of us are present, so we're able to conduct business. I have to ask your indulgence. Our normal procedure would be public comment, well, based on the agenda you have in front of you, public comment, approval of the minutes, and then Mr. Germaini's report. The solicitor, Attorney Jason Medore, is required to be in court at 1:30 for an assessment appeal hearing. And we're going to change our order around a little bit. We're certainly going to have two public comment opportunities like we always do. But because of his time constraints, normally under election director's report, Mr. Germaini would bring some issues to our attention. If they required the solicitor's input at that point, we would do that. It's my understanding that we have at least three matters that fall under that definition. And because of the time constraints that the solicitor has, what I'd like to do is I will tell you that Mr. Germaini has made the solicitor aware of these matters, and you are going to report on them and provide us some legal guidance. Is that correct, Counselor?
That's correct.
Okay, as you're approaching, this is our county solicitor, Attorney Jason Medore. I should give my two colleagues any chance that they might want for an opening statement, Mr. Sonato? No? Mr. Kennedy? Okay, thank you. Again, once Mr. Attorney Medore is concluded, we will then have public comment, and we have public comment twice, towards the beginning of the meeting and before we adjourn. So we're not going to deviate from that, but I hope you can all appreciate his time schedule. So with that, Mr. Medore, you've been made aware of a couple of matters Mr. Germaini has brought to your attention, that have been brought to his attention. Would you mind entering into the record what those matters are, and from a legal perspective, what your recommendation and guidance would be to this board?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
The first matter is the Hickory Township Supervisor's race. It was a write-in race, and the two highest vote getters
were Michael Dillo with 57 votes and Randy Brown with 55 votes. The county, based on my recommendation, made a determination that Michael Dillo was not a qualified candidate for that position because he is a registered voter in Scott Township. Mr. Dillo has stated that he is a resident living in Hickory Township and has done so for the past several years. However, he never had the opportunity to change his registration until, I believe, the day after the election. The second-class township code states that to hold an office as a supervisor, you need to be an elector. And in order to be an elector, although the second-class township code doesn't define the term elector, you go to basis of construction through other statutes that are used in Pennsylvania. And the consensus is elector is someone that actually has the ability to elect someone in that particular municipality, which means they need to be a registered voter. Because Mr. Dillo is not a registered voter, I made the recommendation that he could not hold the office, similar to if someone were to write my name in 3 times in Hickory Township for the judge of elections. I would not have the ability to hold that office because I don't live in Hickory Township. I'm not a registered voter in Hickory Township. Mr. Dillo, as is his right, filed an emergency petition with the courts, and I spoke with President Judge Cox yesterday, and he issued an order staying certification of the Hickory Township supervisor race until there's the opportunity for Mr. Dillo and also the county and Mr. Brown to state their opinions and at a hearing that will be scheduled most likely within the next 30 days. This is only holding up certification of the Hickory Township supervisor's race. It doesn't hold up certification of any other race or any other precinct within the county. So as such, I recommended that Mr. Germaini allow a certification vote to go in front of the board, save Hickory Township supervisor. And in that matter will go on, it'll go into the courts, and the judge will ultimately make a decision on whether Mr. Dillo is qualified to hold the position or not. So in the meantime, right now, we will not have a Hickory Township supervisor race determined, and the winner will ultimately be either Mr. Dillo or Mr. Brown, based on the judge's orders.
So we will not take any action today as it relates to that race,
Correct.
specifically that race, since it now is in the legal court system.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's probably prudent for us not even to comment beyond that, since the matter is in the courts, and it will be that forum at which this matter will be addressed.
It would be that form, yes.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, are you concluded with your report on this first matter?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns? None, thank you, Mr. Sonata.
No, it's just the court is going to make the ultimate decision.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've had a couple of other issues that Mr. Germaini brought to your attention.
Yes, the next 2 issues are complaints regarding violation of the election code. The first was brought by a representative of the League of Women Voters, and it had to do with a postcard that was sent out by the Constitution Party asking for votes for Newcastle City Council race. When it was mailed, underneath the address of the individual, handwritten, was noted LWV, which is, determined to be League of Women Voters. LWV gathered our materials. Thanks. The League of Women Voters is filing a complaint based on that. They are a nonpartisan organization, and they don't want it to seem that they are endorsing any candidate or any party. So as a result, they brought this to our attention for potential violation of the election laws. And I would just respectfully recommend that you turn over the complaint and the card to the DA's office for investigation of any criminal sanctions.
And to be very clear, this is the League of Women Voters of Lawrence County.
That is very correct, yes.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sanada, any questions? Mr. Kennedy? None. Thank you. And I believe you had a third issue.
Yes, the third issue was also brought up by a representative of the League of Women Voters, but also a voting member of the borough of New Wilmington.
A registered elector of the.
Yes. And it had to do with the Constitution Party passing out material. No, I'm sorry, not the Constitution, not the one. It had to do with an individual passing out material, endorsing and asking for votes for certain members for the borough council position. And it was not identified as to who was, what organization was providing this material.
In
And
other words, no disclaimer.
no disclaimer, and that is a potential, at least to be investigated as a potential violation of the election code. So once again, I would recommend that matter be sent to the district attorney for investigation and potential sanctions.
And we've done this in the past primarily because this board is not a law enforcement agency. We don't have law enforcement authority. And I don't believe we have investigative authority as it relates to law enforcement, either perhaps the potential non-adherence to law. Would that be a safe way to put it?
That's a safe way to put it. And also, we don't have the manpower that the district attorney's office would. They have an entire detective bureau. And they have assistant district attorneys that have the ability to research potential violations. So it's best in his hands, because ultimately, if there is determined to be a violation that is worthy of criminal sanctions, they would be the one
Filing those charges.
Yes.
So your recommendation, Counselor, is that on this matter involving the borough council race in the borough of New Wilmington and the document that was handed out that allegedly did not have a disclaimer,
Yes.
as well as the issue involving the League of Women Voters as far as what was written on a document that was utilized in the election campaign for Newcastle City Council. You're advising this board, before we adjourn, obviously, to vote affirmatively to forward both these matters on to the district attorney's office.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm advising.
And I'm not going to do that just now because we still have to take in public comment. And but what I do want to do, though, is go back for a second and turn it over to both Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Sanada. Dan, any questions on either of these? Thank you. Mr. Sanada.
Now, I'm quite familiar with the rules of putting that disclaimer on forms, so I think that recommendation is something we've done in the past. Not the other on this board, but I've seen that. I think that's the appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
I would be remiss. Now, first of all, were those the three issues that you gentlemen have been looking into? Or are there more?
No, that's it.
Okay. Did any of us overlook anything as we had this conversation?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, Counselor, thank you for your work on these matters and for the advice you're giving us.
I'll stick around for
Could you
another 10
please?
minutes.
I'm
Yes.
watching the clock.
I have 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you so kindly. And that would then allow us to move on to public comment. Now, our procedure for public comment, as I mentioned, the law requires we give one opportunity for public comment. We go a little bit above and beyond that. We have two opportunities. We do ask that if you have public comment, that they be related to county election board matters, number one. Number two, that you try to limit your time to about 5 minutes or so, if you would, out of respect for everybody's schedule. Number three, you are welcome to comment both times. You're welcome to comment one of the two times, or if you're simply here to observe, that's fine. There's not a requirement that you comment, but you certainly have that opportunity. That being said, I'm going to, now the solicitor had to step out, but if we have to call him in, we will. I'm going to open the floor. We would ask if you have a comment, if you'd be kind enough to state your name for the record. We'll be happy to hear what you might have to say. Okay, thank you all. Once again, though, if you're able to stick around, we'll repeat this. We'll give you another opportunity before we adjourn. Thank you so kindly. Now, we do have in our packet the minutes of the November 3 meeting. That was the meeting that we held the day before Election Day, which is a tradition here in Lawrence County. I'm going to give, and these minutes are here if anybody wishes to take a look at them. But I'll give my two colleagues time to look them over. And gentlemen, whenever you're ready, I could take a motion for us to adopt the minutes.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes. I'll second.
Thank you both. Any questions? Hearing none. Ryan, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. At this time, we'll go to Roman numeral number 2, which is the election director's report. The gentleman to my left is Tim Germaini. He is our director of elections. And Tim, we'll turn it over to you for whatever information you have for us.
Well, first off, this election was very successful and a higher turnout than I anticipated, so that's a good thing. It was a historic election as well, with having the new common pleas judges coming in here at the end of the year. And I asked that, let me back up. All ballots have been counted, provisionals are counted, all military ballots have come in. So the unofficial votes that have been posted have not changed. So when I ask you guys to certify today, nothing's changed. You've been okay with that. We broke ties today for a majority of inspector of elections, judge of elections, and a couple auditor positions that we did as well. That went well. We should have those results up here soon. Susie's still gonna go through and make some adjustments to show where those winners were at. And we had a great election. That's about it. I asked you guys to certify today. And we'll go from there.
Now, I want to commend you and your staff, Susan, and your other colleagues. The way the process works is very like a well-oiled machine, because the polls close at 8 o'clock at night. We have 75 polling places, and the men and women that work at those polling places have to pull all the information together and pack things up, take it to their car, drive it here to the courthouse. We're the central repository, if you will. And keep in mind, you've got folks from not only the city and the surrounding townships, but you have people coming all the way from Enon Valley Borough and Perry Township, Plain Grove Township, Pulaski Township, the far reaches of the county. So it takes them a little longer to get here. But we had everything wrapped up by 10:30, I believe?
Yeah.
So in that 2.5-hour window, we had those votes counted. That is a real credit to the men and women out in the field, as well as the men and women that work here on election night. I want to point one thing out. If I make a misstatement, please correct me. One thing that did occur, and it's not unique to Lawrence County, but with mail-in ballots, the law is specific that those ballots have to physically be in the voter services office by 8 p.m. on election night. They have to physically be here. And what ends up happening is, and it happened this year, is the day after the election and maybe a few days beyond, we still received in the mail-in ballots, which we were not able to count because of the fact, based on the law, they were not physically here by 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. My friendly recommendation to voters who utilize the mail-in ballot would be give yourself enough time for the Postal Service to get them here. Make sure you mail them a good number of days in advance of election day. If you mail them on Monday, chances are we're not gonna get them on Tuesday. So that just, did I misstate anything?
No, and with you saying that, I examined those ballots, I believe there was like over 50 that came the next day. They were mailed 2 days before the election.
Which would have been the Saturday before?
Yeah, so you know, you missed Sunday and then, so yeah, if you're gonna mail your ballots, I would do it, or get them here.
Yeah, you can physically bring them
Yes, you
here.
can.
A lot of folks do, but
Yes, they do.
it's a shame that some, and it was not intentional on the part of the voters, I don't think.
No.
It's just that when they arrive after 8 PM, we're not permitted to count them by law. But thank you for all of that. I'm gonna see if my colleague, Mr. Kennedy, has any questions on the report you just gave. Thank you, Dan. Mr. Thank you, Dan. Mr. Sonata.
Just echo your comments, Tim. I was there and I see how smoothly everything went. It was actually a little bit after 10 o'clock when the last box came in. We got the numbers. So that was really quick. And, the young people that were involved that night did a really good job of
Great
letting them, bringing them in, and your staff and the assistant staff did a fine job getting it done, especially the mail-ins were done quickly, promptly. And if anyone ever has questions to observe how it's done, it's really good to see that. I mean, it's a democracy process of your staff, which
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Now, we have three, that's your report, that concludes your
Yes,
report?
yes, sir.
Thank you. We have three actions to consider this afternoon. One being the formal certification of the election results from November 4, 2024. Excuse me, November 4, there's a misprint on this resolution. It should say November 4, 2025. And both at the first sentence, with the first whereas and under the therefore, so please make that notation. That's the resolution that we'll be taking action on as it relates to certification. However, when we get to that, I think we need to, correct me if I'm wrong, Counselor, that we need to maybe add a sentence that would say excluding the Hickory Township Supervisor race?
Yes, and I think that Tim has the language
Oh,
that he wants to use.
you do?
What we talked about upstairs.
For the certification?
I was talking about the website.
Well, for that, it would be everything but Hickory Township, certified everything but Hickory Township Supervisor's race.
Okay. We'll make note of that. That will be our first resolution that we'll vote on. And then I was going to ask, and I'll get to this in a moment, am I at liberty then to do one motion to recommend, take the League of Women Voters matter and the new Wilmington Borough Council matter, both of those matters, and refer them to the district attorneys? Can I do that with one motion?
You can.
Okay. Now, before I do that, before I call for a motion on the certification resolution and the referral to the district attorney, unless my colleagues object, I'd like to do one more public comment opportunity before we take that vote, if anybody does wish to make a comment. And if you would state your name for the record, please.
Hello, yes. My name is Michael Dillo. I'm the write-in winner in Hickory Township. I lived in Hickory Township for quite some time now at 1611 Harlansburg Road. There was a technical error, and Angelo Papa has taken the case. He's going to hear this. A date has been set for December 12th on the matter, unless the council, of course, has the authority and right to decide on their own today if they wish to. And I just want to say, we're going to even double check the other gentleman's votes, make sure everything is certifiable and correct. In any manner, we have no other contest in it other than I am the democratically, candidate that I won the election with the most votes. I live in the township. I'm a resident. I am an elector in the township. And I just appreciate all of your time and all of your work in the matter. And I just wanted to say that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dilla. Appreciate that. Other comments, other public comments at this time? Thank you all. Ryan, what number would we give the certification resolution?
Number 6.
Thank you. Proposed resolution number 6 for the Lawrence County Board of Elections would read as follows. Pursuant to the Pennsylvania Election Code, the Lawrence County Board of Elections is required to certify the results of the general election held on November 5, 2025. Whereas Tim Germaini, the Lawrence County Elections Director, provided to the board that all votes have been counted, and therefore be it resolved that the Lawrence County Board of Elections does hereby certify the results of the general election held on November 4, 2025, excluding the Hickory Township Supervisor contest, race.
Right, say race.
We will exclude certification of that specific race, but we will certify all of the other results. Approved this day, 21 November 2025. Counselor, is that an appropriate wording of a resolution?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. May I have a motion for this resolution?
I'll make that motion. I'll second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Sanada, any questions, comments, discussion? Thank you. Mr. Kennedy? Thank you very much. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So again, the results are now certified, excluding the Hickory Township Supervisor race. This allows Mr. Germaini to submit to the Pennsylvania Department of State the official results of the November 5 election. Earlier in the meeting, the solicitor recommended action on our part as it related to the two matters that were brought to the election director's attention. The League of Women Voters concern with a document that was circulated pertinent to the Newcastle City Council race, as well as a document that was allegedly distributed in the borough of New Wilmington on election day that allegedly did not have a disclaimer indicating who had paid for that document. Based upon discussion between the election director, the solicitor's review, the solicitor is recommending that we refer both of these matters to our Lawrence County District Attorney's Office, Mr. Attorney Joshua Lamancusa. Have I overlooked anything, Counselor?
No, sir.
Okay. May I have a motion to that effect to refer both of these matters to the District Attorney's Office?
I'll make a motion to refer both matters to the district attorney's office.
And I'll second. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, any comments now? Thank you. Mr. Sanada? Thank you. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're getting ready to adjourn, but again, we had a number of matters, as you see here, that we had to give a good deal of consideration to, and I'll go one more time. Any closing public comment that anybody might have? Hearing? Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
something to ask about this here, just so I have it clear. Were there more than one that was distributed?
I got one also.
You got one as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
And was it written the same way?
Pardon me?
On the one that you received, was it written the same way?
Yes.
Handwritten.
Handwritten?
Handwritten at the bottom.
Other
yes.
people in our group also got them, they didn't, but they looked at them and said, threw it away.
Right, but
They
there
didn't
was a
keep-
report of that as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies, since you've become part of the discussion, for our record, could we have your names entered into the record, please? You
Sure.
simply say who you are.
Okay. I'm Linda Morrison. I'm the president of the Lawrence County League of Women Voters.
And I'm Betsy Demarest, and I'm the vice president of the Lawrence County League of Women Voters.
Ladies, thank you both. We have to reflect that fact in the minutes, so we thank you both. Anything else, sir?
I would like to know how this was received.
Could I?
That relates to the borough of New Wilmington. I don't think that.
No, I know, that's why I was.
That's for me. My name is Ken Hilke. I was on the election. for an existing seat that I currently hold, okay? I was not supposed to get that card, okay? When I came through, there were quite a few of us who were not given the card. I was given the card only by accident. My name obviously is not on that card, okay? It gave me no, it doesn't say who did it. Obviously, I lost the election. The implication, I'm sure everyone sees, is that if you didn't know me, if you knew anybody on that card, you would vote for the others on that card because they're all on that card together. I talked to the attorney and I understand the law that says, you know, you have to identify who put that on there. My point is those people on the card, at least two of them, didn't even know they were on that card. They didn't know that their cards were going to be passed out. And in fact, both of them, at least two of them, never got a card when they were passed out outside the election. I understand that the cards were printed 3 months in advance, but they were only given out on that day. I also understand, I know where they were printed. That was in New Wilmington at the Mill Street business called Mill Street. That's where they were printed. When I asked who printed them, I was denied that information, okay? I understand that this may be a technicality in a lot of people's point, but I have lost this election, quite frankly, because of that card. And what if these people who have now done this decide to do it again? You have corrupted our number one most basic democratic principles is you've influenced a vote. And even if they place the fine, what's to stop somebody from paying the fine and doing it again? They know it has worked. As far as you and I know, everybody who would have got that card would have looked at it and said, oh, I know these two people, I'll vote for the other two because they must be all agreeing to this on this card. I can't imagine that we'll ever have another election in New Wilmington that somebody can't use the same principle. If I took your name and I put a sign out in my front yard and I grouped you with somebody else that you didn't like, you would assume that those two names agree with each other. And you would vote that way unless you knew specifically that was not the case. I find this truly not only amazing to me, but I find it very disconcerting because of the method. And as I said, I can tell you who one of the people that was passing out, and they were very selective about who they did not give cards to.
Well, and as we noted, Mr. Hilke, what is prompting us to refer it to the district attorney is the lack of a disclaimer. It does not say who paid for the card.
Right.
That could very well be potentially, the district attorney would make that determination, a violation of the election law.
Right.
That's why we're taking this action.
And I appreciate your action. I just hope that this doesn't, the district attorney doesn't find that this is so little of importance, because I see this as monumentally important, because I don't think we'll ever have a fair election in New Wilmington ever again. If I were to stand up and do the same thing with these cards, all of us who've been elected, this is a tactic. This wasn't just, I didn't put my name, who printed it on the card. This is a tactic, and it succeeded admirably. I find that very disconcerting. I don't care about my seat. I wasn't getting paid anyway. You know what I mean? And I don't mind that I didn't get elected. That's not a point at all. Hey, I was donating my time anyway. I do care that I lost fraudulently. That I do care about. And I would suspect for those of you who are almost all of voting, I voted for you. I would be very concerned. Who's to stop them from doing the tactic for any one of you? It worked. And it worked well. And if all they want to do is pay the, even if they pay the $1,000 fine, wait 2 years and do it again. Without those people, and if you'd have put my name on that card, I would be incensed because you grouped me with people I did not agree with. It's one thing if you wanted to stand outside that place and hand out a card that says, here, vote for Ken Hilke or vote for Leanne Miller. That would have been fine. But to group me with other people without my consent, I talked to 2 of those people. They didn't even know about it. They never got a card outside the election. Where is the protection?
Well,
I know you don't have control over a lot of that. You've done what you've needed to do, but I think the implication here is so disastrous that I can't imagine why there isn't more that can be done from something like this. Maybe that's just my opinion.
a lot of that results from the election code, which is a compilation of laws that are passed by our state legislature.
I realize that.
We don't make
I know.
election law, we
I
adhere
know.
to it.
Right, but like I said, I just wanted you to see where the implication is there, because, hey, I can pay the $1,000 fine, because I understand that's the maximum that can be put out is $1,000 fine. I could pay that out and decide to do it again. I can pay the $5,000 or $1,000 fine every year and get people elected that I want to get elected. And this was done by several people in combination, because this wasn't just somebody who printed it. This was somebody that got people to stand outside, tell who not to give cards to. I can't imagine anything more disastrous in an election than something like this. So thank you very much for listening.
Stop at my office and I'll get your information.
Okay, I'll be glad to do that. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
gentlemen.
Junkie. Now, forgive me, did we take a vote on the referral issue? I can't recall. I don't believe we did, did we? That's right. We did vote on the certification.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh. For the women's voters in the Normington?
yes, we did vote.
Yeah, we
We
voted on
did,
it.
we took action to
Yes.
refer it?
Mhm.
Thank you. My short-term memory,
That's
that's my
okay.
medium-term memory, my long-term memory.
You're having a tough day.
These guys can vouch for it. They correct me quite often, so forgive me. So we did vote on all
Yes.
3 matters.
Yes, Commissioner, we did.
Thank you so much. And we've had public comment. So closing comments from my fellow board members.
Nothing, you're just having a tough day today.
Yeah, Dan and I thought we were supposed to go to a lunch today that actually took place yesterday. That was my fault, so.
Right there.
Stay late and
Yeah,
go.
that's right. Story of my life. No other comments, Dan? No. Mr. Sonata?
Yeah, I will comment. Mr. Carter, I'm sorry.
Ken Hilke.
Mr. Hilke, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right, you're fine.
So I know, I understand what you're saying. I've been involved in it a long time, and I've seen this process play out. That's why the law states you have to have a disclaimer. I hate to, you put the disclaimer on, they can say anything they want about you.
Right.
Even if it's not true, but this law states you have to say who you paid for.
Right.
That is what the law states. And what we're seeing here, the law was not followed. That's why we did what we did and sent it to the district attorney's office for prosecution. I would also encourage the legislature to toughen the penalties on this.
Yeah.
You know, because it's happened to me, it's happened to others.
Right. Yeah.
Everything you're saying is correct as far as, getting away with this, because, we have a system and a process, we want to keep it clean, and unfortunately, the elections today don't always work out that way. You pretty much can say anything you want about somebody, you just gotta say who paid for it. And in that case, it's allowed, the disclaimer's not there, so, as Chairman Vogler said, we don't have enforcement, we don't have that
Right.
power. That's why we're turning it over to those who do have that power. So I am sympathetic to what you're saying, because I've been involved in many elections over the last 30 years. And unfortunately, what happened to you has happened throughout the state, and it happens at all levels. It just seems to happen even more now at local elections, whether it's a school board, a councilman, a mayor's race, or whatever. I just wish people would stay with facts. And, and I'll just throw this out, we had a judge's election this year.
Right.
And all 5 of them were honorable candidates who ran a very clean campaign. And this is probably one of the cleanest campaigns I've seen in I go back 40 years as far as being involved in the political process. Those 5 candidates all deserve to be commended for the type of election they all ran. So that's, I'll just end it with that.
Thank you, Mr. Sanada. Mr. Germaini, any other matters of business that you need to bring before this board?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are able to adjourn the meeting. If one of you wishes to make a motion for adjournment, I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Mrs. Morrison, may I see you for a second?
Yes.